We have made Marry Me Chicken on the channel before, twice actually, and I wanted to change it up, make it more macro friendly. Each portion of this is 650 calories, 64 grams of protein, and only 11 grams of fat. There's one major change that we're going to swap out from the original recipe, and instead of using cream, we are going to be using cottage cheese. It's high protein, lower in fat, and it just makes it a little bit more healthier and more delicious.
The first thing we do want to do is place a pot of water over a high heat and bring it up to a boil, and you can place a lid on in the background. This will speed things up. Then what we have is 800 grams or 1.7 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken breast. Slice this into thick strips lengthways, and then we'll rotate it and then dice into small to medium sized pieces. Trying your best to keep it as consistent as possible, that way everything will cook at the same rate, and we can add this into a bowl. Add in 1 tablespoon of dried Italian herbs, a nice big pinch of salt, as well as some cracked black pepper, 20 cracks worth. Make sure everything is evenly coated in that dried Italian herbs, and then just set this aside for the time being. Now for the sauce, it's a little bit different. We're using 2 cups or 400 grams of high protein or regular cottage cheese. Make sure you scrape that all in there, and then add in 2/3 of a cup or 180 milliliters of chicken stock, 1 teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder and smoked paprika, half a cup or 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, and half a cup or 100 grams of sun-dried tomatoes that have been drained from their oil, pinch of salt, cracked black pepper. Chuck this onto a high speed and then blend it until it's all evenly incorporated and you have a really nice smooth sauce. You can leave it in the blender to save dishes, or you can put it in a bowl, just makes things a little bit easier. With our water now at a boil, carefully remove the lid, be careful of any steam, and then generously season with salt, no need for ocean water, and then add in 500 grams or 1.1 pounds of any pasta of your choice. I'm using shell pasta for this. We're going to cook it for 3 minutes less than the packet instructions. In the meantime, place another large pot or high-rimmed pan over a medium-high heat, add in 1 tablespoon of the sun-dried tomato oil, and then add in our seasoned chicken. Spread it around and then let this sit for about a minute or 2 to build a crust. I'm going to cook this for a total of about 5 to 6 minutes, or until just cooked through and you have a really nice colour on that chicken. Also, if your pan is too small, you might want to do this in batches just to avoid steaming it. With our pasta cooked 3 minutes less than the packet instructions and drained, we can add that into the chicken, as well as that nice creamy sauce that we made that has all of the flavour in there. Turn the heat down to low and then mix this well and make sure everything's completely coated, and we're going to cook this for about 2 minutes. Just make sure it is over a low heat, because if you have it any higher, that sauce will split, and you don't need to completely mix it for 2 minutes straight. We don't want to break up the pasta. With that done, add in 200 grams or 7 ounces of baby spinach that's been washed. Continue cooking this for roughly 1 minute. Spinach doesn't take long at all to wilt down. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but it's a good little way to add a bit of greenery. Check it one last time for seasoning, adjusting if necessary. I only needed to add a little bit more cracked black pepper. And if you do like it extra saucy, you're more than welcome to add a bit more chicken stock here just to loosen it up, but that choice is all yours. Serving up, I'm using 5 750 milliliter Lavelli containers. I do recommend weighing the total amount yourself and then dividing it by 5, but I have given you a rough weight on screen. Garnish it with a little bit of extra Parmesan cheese. I haven't included this in the macros, so this is completely optional, as well as a little bit more cracked black pepper. And what we've created is this Marry Me Chicken, 650 calories per portion. All of the fat, the carbs, the protein, and the rest of the nutrition, as well as the full written recipe, is in the link in the description. Let these cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes before placing on the lids. They'll last 3 days in the fridge and 3 months in the freezer. I am also going to get an extra day out of them because I'm using the Lavelli vacuum seal pump, which I have a link for in the description.
For reheating, there's 2 different options, a microwave or a pan. The microwave is probably going to be the easiest method, because if you are going to take this out of the house or take it to work, most places of work do have one. If you're making it at home, do it in a pan. It's going to be a little bit better, and you can place a little bit of stock in there to rehydrate. And if you are calculating the macros, just adjust accordingly. As always, there's one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. In comparison to the original recipe, there really isn't much difference in flavor. We've lowered the fat, we've added more protein. It's delicious, it's easy to make, and it's cheap, and I cannot wait for you to try it yourself.